Hello, small business growth bestie. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast, where we sit and we chat and we have raw and real and genuine conversations sharing tactical business growth advice, entrepreneurship lifestyle tips, and we teach you how to turn your small business into a brand. But around here, we like to teach in a fun conversational type of way, kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie. Instead of it feeling like a talk show, I'm talking at you, I'm preaching at you, whatever. It's really just you and I sitting and having a nice old cup of coffee and having a genuine conversation. I love to add in some guided questions, some exercises, and really make it where it feels like we are communicating back and forth. If you're new here, I just want to take a second and welcome you and say hello. My name is Madison Page, and I am a business growth specialist. I've been in the industry for 8 to 10 years at this point. We've helped hundreds of people build their business, and I really love teaching you how to stand out and sell out using social media for your business. If you are not new here, welcome back, girlfriend. So happy to have you. I am so excited for this episode, which I think I say every single episode, but I'm excited about this one because I think it's going to clear up a very frequently asked question that I get. And that is going to be talking about quote unquote strategy. What does that mean? Because all the time I'm like, strategy is necessary. If you don't have a strategy, you're not growing. Strategy is necessary for growth. You need to learn the strategy. And people are like, Maddie, that's great, but like what actually signifies a strategy? So if you have thought that to yourself, what does that even mean? Maddie, how do I know if I have a strategy or not? Hint, hint, if you don't really know if you have a strategy, you probably don't. But we're going to dive into that, what you need to know, and what that all really looks like. How can you actually learn these things, and diving into strategy. If you do love this episode and want to come on back, we do put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. They are on Spotify, they're on Apple, they're on Stitcher, they're on Google, as well as we have explored over to YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, it really boosts our episodes out there. So definitely head on over there and you get notified when we're putting this out. So you can actually have this conversation face to face with me. I've really enjoyed, I waited to do a lot of like video I waited to do the YouTube for a long time, but I've really been enjoying it. It actually makes me feel like I'm actually talking to somebody as opposed to just talking to little old me in a room. I feel like I have actually somebody on the other side of a screen, which is fun. And so without further ado, let's dive into what I even mean when I say strategy. Strategy to some might seem like a buzzword. What does it even mean? What does that mean I actually have to do? What does that really even signify? What do you mean? What are my actions I have to take if I have a strategy? By definition, strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim, a major goal or overall aim. So my definition, because that sounds a little fluffy to me, is the ability to take specific action and receive a desired result. By the actual formal definition, though, it does just say it is designed to achieve. That doesn't mean that you do actually achieve it. And that's something that I get a lot is a lot of people say I have a strategy, I'm doing these things, but that doesn't actually mean that you are going to achieve the goal, even if you are doing the thing. So my book, I want to teach you a strategy. This is why I always say a scientific backed strategy or a proven strategy or a tested and proven or a research, whatever strategy, because that means that it's not just designed to achieve this, it will actually help you achieve your major goal that you have. My definition is the ability to take specific action and receive the result, the desired result, the result that you were looking for. So some examples of this would be knowing what content to post to get X, Y, and Z engagement. Knowing that if you are posting this type of content, you are aiming for this type of engagement. Knowing how to make a new follower into a customer. Okay, you just had a video go viral. What does that mean now to actually turn all of those new followers into customers? What does that sales strategy look like? Do you know how to do that? being able to make a clear plan of action to achieve the result that you're looking for. So whether or not in your business right now you have consistent sales or not, let's say that you are not yet to consistent sales, do you have a strategy that you are following to get there? Or are you just saying, well, I'm posting every day, I'm going to post some more reels, I wish I was being more consistent? Like, feeling like you're using trending audios, posting more reels, and being more consistent is not a strategy, because those things don't have any science behind them, because they're all based on the algorithm. So it's basically just meaning that you're not just throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping that it sticks. It means that you have a reason, you have evidence behind it, and you actually know what you are doing in order to get it to work. Now, of course, a strategy doesn't always work the exact way that you want it. I might post a video and I have a lot of strategy behind it, and it doesn't get the views that I want, or it doesn't get the comments that I want. That's fine, but I am confident every single time that I post, no matter if it's a story, no matter if it's a podcast, no matter if it's a feed post, a reel, whatever, I know that that post is getting somebody closer to buying from me. Every single time I post, because I have a strategy and because I'm confident in it, that I am confident enough to say that. This doesn't mean that that you are just picking trending audios and you're out there. This doesn't mean that you are just doing hashtags and you're hoping that people find you. This doesn't mean that you are following every algorithm hack out there. This is something I hear a lot, is people come to me and they're like, Maddie, I just feel like I can't get to consistent sales. I feel like I'm on a treadmill. I'm so frustrated. I just want to get it where I post and people buy. And I say, great, that's awesome. Totally hear you there. It's a total problem that a lot of people have. I just wish that I could get those sales flowing in consistently. And I say, that's awesome. Are you following a content strategy? And they're like, yeah, totally. I said, perfect. What does that look like? And they say, well, I'm posting pictures of my product, and I'm posting pictures of me using my product, and I try to post every day, and I'm posting a reel 3 times a week. That's not a strategy. That's more of a checklist and an action plan. The reasoning behind there, and then I say, great, why are you doing those things? And they're like, I don't know. Those things go through phases. Strategy should be proven and scientific, therefore it doesn't change super easy. If right now what you're doing can change in the drop of a hat, like they can change the algorithm, and all of a sudden your entire quote unquote strategy is toast, that's not an actual strategy. Even people that feel like they have again, I'm going to use a lot of quote unquotes in this episode, they have like a viral framework, or they have this, how they can set up a reel in order for it to go viral. Well, in 6 weeks, when that reel is way overdone because so many people have gone viral doing it, it will no longer be a framework to go viral. If it changes that quickly, if it's that malleable, it's not an actually long-lasting strategy. Sometimes it's good to ride the waves of trends. I'm all for riding the waves of trends, but that's not a longevity approach to actually growing your business. Not all plans that you have are actual strategy. Anyone can plan things. I can say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to post today about my candles, tomorrow about my scents, the next day about showing a pretty photo of it. The day after that, I'm going to post some gift guides. And I've seen a lot of people doing that. It's going to be great. But if I ask you, that's a plan. If I ask you for your strategy, you should be able to tell me, well, this week I'm focusing really heavily on nurturing my audience. So I'm trying to get them engaged with me. Therefore, I'm going to talk about gift guides. I'm going to share things that my family really loves to get them connected and have a personal touch to me. Therefore, we are going to have a challenge that says, submit who you are buying this from, and we're getting them involved in our business. Now that, my friends, is a strategy. If you're like, Maddie, but I have no idea how to do those things, or what that even means, or when to do it, that's because you don't truly have a strategy that you're following. There should be evidence, explanation, or proof behind what you're doing. If I'm like, okay, give me an example, like what are you doing with your content right now? And you're like, well, I'm posting every day. Instead of really going deep into it, of telling me what's going on, that tells me that you probably don't have a strategy. Growth is truly inevitable with a proper strategy. Why? Because it's proven and it's scientific. Once you do get to that point of having a proven and scientific strategy. I tested my strategy for months to years before I really called it like a proven strategy. I was testing. I had a strategy that I thought was going to work, but I didn't know if it was actually going to work for a while until I tested it with dozens of people across dozens of industries. And now I've worked with hundreds of people with the same strategy. And I know when they do these things and they do them right, it works. That means that growth is then inevitable and it is then proven. The definition, again, is a plan designed to achieve a goal. There are some plans or strategies that are implemented and they don't work. And so you might have a strategy in your mind, but what you're looking for is a proven strategy that is actually proven and is actually going to get you results. Because the strategies that I teach, if I implement or if I know my clients implement them consistently and correctly for long enough, they do work. I am confident in saying that. I would put money down on saying that because I've seen it time and time and time again. My clients have 3, 5, 10, 20x'd their growth through the strategies that I provide, their income, their revenue, their engagement, their whatever. And so they would agree as well. They're like, yeah, Maddie, this strategy works because I've tested it and I've proven it. I've done the thing and it happened. Oftentimes I ask you, do you have a strategy? And they say either, I guess I hear one of two things. One, it's like, heck no, I am posting, I am praying, I'm looking at everybody else for inspiration and I'm putting the things out there hoping that by me copying them, which it's obviously working for them, then it's also going to work for me. Either heard that or people are like, oh yeah, I'm posting consistently and I'm making a lot of reels, which is normally an indicator, both of those, of not a proper strategy. You just don't know like a proper or a proven strategy that's actually going to work. When you have a strategy, you can literally whip up a long response to this question. If I ask you, what strategy are you doing right now, and you don't have a response to it, my response is incredibly long. Anytime I have like colleagues or friends that are in my business and they're like, what are you working on right now? Like, what are you testing? What are you doing? I'm like, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm testing these things. I'm playing around on Pinterest for my top of funnel marketing. And it's a totally different language. If you were to sit down at one of those conversations, you would be like, Maddie, did you just speak gibberish? Because it feels like a totally different language because it's a long explanation and there's a lot of adjectives. And that's why it's so great when you meet somebody that gets it, because you can just have that normal conversation with them. You feel confident in your actions with your strategy. You know what you are doing is actually bringing you closer to growth and to your goals and to what you want it to be. You don't have to think for hours on what to post. Ideas just kind of flow as to what's next. You have a plan for what's next. You know what your major goals are and you know what those goals are, so you know what actions you have to take in order to get there. Somebody could sit down and say, Maddie, what would you do right now if you really wanted to make $500,000 this year? And I could lay out a full strategy of how I would grow to that. Hey, Maddie, what would you do if you wanted to start getting consistent sales in this business this year? And I could lay out in a full thing of exactly how to do that. That has a lot of science and has a lot of data behind it because I live and breathe this. I literally wake up, I read Harvard business reviews, I read journals, I stay up to date. I test things constantly in my business. I have 2 college degrees in business, and I've worked in businesses for years now with hundreds of different businesses that I can whip up a response to all of that. You know what result you're looking for and how to tell if that strategy is working or when it becomes time. So you can basically say, Maddie, I want you to get to this result. And I say, perfect, let's reverse engineer that and let's figure out what you have to do. And then we can tell if that is working or if it is not working. And then when it's time to make actual changes as well. And so that's what's so wonderful about a strategy is when your plan stops working, you can then go back to the resources, the tools inside of your toolbox and kind of reverse engineer that. If you have a strategy, you normally have like I right now have an endless list of could-dos, but you know what you want to prioritize. And this is why taking time to learn the strategy is so important, because then you know that, okay, I know if I keep doing these things, I know I'm going to get these certain results if I do them consistently and correctly. And I don't just want to say that my strategy is the only strategy. And I think this is really interesting because there's not a lot of people in my boat that like teach people for a living that would say this, but there's a lot of strategies that would work for you. My strategy is not the only one that will work for you, and I'm very transparent about that. My strategy is community focused, it's longevity focused, it is heartfelt, it is value based, and it does show like it is building an organic community. It doesn't include ads to start. It doesn't include following all of the trends. It doesn't include any of those like SEO things, at least to begin, to get you to consistent sales. Why? Because I have found that building an organic community has led people to consistent sales quicker, and not just consistent sales, but consistent sales that last. Because sure, you could go out and try to run ads, or you're trying drop shipping, or you're trying NFTs, all of these things that were super trendy, but are they going to last? Is there an option there? And I know when you build the communities that I teach, the industry leading communities that I teach, that this growth does last. You get to choose what type of strategies you want to learn, you want to execute, whether it's paid, whether it's organic, whether it's community building, whether it's more like bro marketing where you're going out and you're cold DMing. It's up to you. Even in my industry, for my business, there are still people, believe it or not, that are out there sending cold DMs that are like, hey, Maddie, do you want to work with me? I have some strategies that would work with you. And I'm like, no. Like that is so, if that is how you are marketing to me, that is not how I want to market to other people. I choose against those strategies. Now, if somebody warmed me up, they came in, they were talking to me, and they say, hey, out of total transparency here, I've been watching you for a couple of weeks and I feel like we could adjust some things. Would that be something that you would be interested in just from a mere perspective? And I would be like, heck yeah, because I'm community driven. I enjoy making connections with people before I want to work with them or anything like that. The last time I invested in a mentor, I came in with so many questions on how to expand and reach that next stage of my business. I came in because, again, at a strategy in your business, you can sometimes you reach the cap of the strategy that you know, and then you're like, perfect, I've gotten to that goal. Now, how do I get to that next step? That is when I invest in a mentor. When I am at the goal and I've been here for a while and I'm ready to really expand, I invest in a mentor or a specialist or whatever. I had a lot of more like, because I'm a product girly and I have all my experience in product when I am selling services, I'm sure there's things that I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so I said, hey, here's my long list of questions. I want to expand this. I want to expand that. I want to do these different things. I have so many ideas and I need somebody to help me kind of put it down there. I literally feel like I have years now of to-dos on my list to reach those goals, and that's not a bad thing. It means that I now know how to execute for so long. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to need a mentor for a really long time because I feel like we've worked through so many things. She gave me so many options. She gave me so much clarity on where I need to go. I now know the knowledge. I now have learned all of the necessary steps in order to keep on building until I get to that next level, that next plateau. And then it's like, okay, let me go find somebody that's already done this so I don't have to try to test and figure it out on my own. I've tested and tried to figure it out on my own, and that's where the strategy that I teach you from a product standpoint, and I know how easy it is to go to somebody and say, hey, I know you've done this already. Can you answer these 10 questions for me? Yes, perfect. Let's go do that. So instead of struggling and the trial and error and the wasted time of trying to figure it out on my own, I hired somebody that had the strategy, that had already tested and proven it, and it worked. And my business has literally quadrupled, 5x, 6x. I haven't done the official numbers of this year since working with her. My clients do the same with me. I have grown 300 businesses at this point plus, and I know what works and I know what doesn't. They get to a point where they are fed up and they're frustrated and they know that they want to go all in. So sure, you can go and listen to podcasts and watch videos and read books and come up with your own frameworks and test the things and try to see what works and fail and try again and fail and try again. Absolutely. I am not somebody that's ever going to say that you need my strategy and I'm the only way that you can learn these things. You can go and try to figure it out, but it's nothing compared to having somebody give you a blueprint, give you feedback, have their eyes in your business and saying, I've already done this once. Here's step A, B, C, D, E, F, and G for you to do in order to get there. Here's the proper strategies. Here's exactly how to do it. And here's what you're doing that we can adjust. The amount of time that you save when you have a strategy, and not even that you're learning somebody else's strategy. This isn't an episode about like why you need to hire a mentor. It's an episode on why you need to learn a strategy, is because when you have a strategy in front of you, it starts working. That growth is inevitable. There is a reason that people have business degrees, because it's a science, it's a skill, it's a process. And if you don't know those strategies, then you just aren't clicking all of the boxes of the science. In the buyer's brain, I took full classes on consumer behavior, buyer psychology, sales psychology. Why that is because there are certain things that people need in order to want to buy. And so the list goes on of ways that I can say that you can go and try to build your business. But when you pick a strategy that feels really well for you, when you pick the way that you want to grow, you can do that. Some people grow based on SEO. Some people grow based on ads. Some people grow based on organic marketing. Some people grow based on influencer marketing. You can do emails. You can do influencers. You can do affiliates. You can do ambassadors. You can do a loyalty program, a referral program. There are so many endless things that you could do. But when you have a strategy, you get to understand what the purpose of all of those things are, and you get to implement the ones that feel good for you and feel like a priority right now in the stage of business that you're in. That is why strategy is important, because it helps you prioritize what your to-dos are, and you know what to do, and you feel confident in those actions. It's confidence, it's conversions, it's freedom from the frustration of it, and in a shorter period of time. It allows you to understand and have a very long explanation of the what, why, and how. What you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're going to execute. So if I tell you, okay, you need to really focus on building your audience because you've kind of capped the amount of people in front of you, you can then say, okay, great. I want to grow my audience. Let's talk about different ways to do that. And then I can say you can do ads. You could focus on SEO. You could focus on reels. There's all of these different ways. Here's exactly how to do them because we've seen these different results in these different ways. For your business, I would recommend these things. That means that you have a strategy. That is having a top of funnel marketing strategy. How do you grow your business? Kind of looking at that sense. So when I say you need a strategy, it just means that you need a well-rounded approach of the what, why, and how of your business. Now, again, I say this a lot, but you wouldn't try to bake a cake without a recipe. You wouldn't try to join a band without learning how to play the instrument. You wouldn't try to go to the Olympics without having a coach. And why that is because those people teach you the tricks of the trade. They teach you what you don't know, and they make it an actual blueprint in order for you to follow the what you need to do, the why you need to do it, the how you need to do it, and they give you a little bit more of priority around it. It allows you to show up as a business owner and actually feel confident in you being a business owner, because you are a business owner, but until you have the strategy that you can prove it to yourself, that you can consistently do and repeat. And I think the repeatability of a strategy is really important as well. You can do it once and it might work, but can you do it again? Can you replicate it? Can you see that it works time and time and time again? Even though the first business that I worked with, or for my blog, all of a sudden my blog started selling a lot of things after I made all of these changes, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden I proved that strategy. It then means that I needed to try again and see if it sold again, and try it again and see if it worked again. That means that it is more proven. And then I did social media management, and I tested it on yoga studios. I tested it on hair salons. I tested it on online businesses, on products, on other coaches, things like that. Like, those are the different types of businesses that I then tested it on. And then I was like, yep, okay, this is working across the board. Here's the little tweaks that we have to make, and it happens. You make it into a framework, you can give it to somebody, and now they can learn it that way as well. So when I say strategy is necessary for growth, because it 100% is, you can try to guess your way into growth. You can try to copy other people's reels and hope that it works for you. Sure, but all you're doing is you're just trying to copy somebody else's strategy. And if that works for you, you might have just hacked the system a little bit, but you won't know what or why they did in that in order to make it work. So you will never be able to repeat it. That's why you need to learn the actual tangible strategies behind it. So this is a common question that I get. I get asked this question all the time. Maddie, when you say strategy, what are those things, like, what do those things really mean? at the end of the day, if you're asking that question, you probably don't fully know your strategy that you're doing. Which is okay. That's fine. You weren't bred to be a business owner, and that's 100% okay. Not everybody has these things that they did. I didn't know strategies at one point either. There's strategies that I still don't know to get me to whatever, the next income bracket or that next level of business, because I haven't been there yet and I don't want to do that. And so I realize there's a lot of strategies in business. Maybe someday I want to explore ads. Maybe someday I want to explore all of these other things. In-person retreats. I'm sure there's a strategy to in-person retreats. And when I explore those other things, the first thing I do is I like right now I'm playing around on Pinterest. The first thing I did was I started watching a ton of YouTube videos, and I looked up Pinterest specialists, and I followed a bunch of them on Instagram. I'm playing around because I like to test strategies, and then I'm going to reach out to one and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Kind of audit what I'm doing and give me some updates. And that is because I value that strategy, and I value that they have put a ton of time in and a ton of research in, and they're going to know quicker and easier than me just testing and hoping that it works. And so knowing that strategy is really the what, the why, and the how. You have this desired result, and knowing what you need to do in order to get there. Even if it's 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you know your steps in order to get to that spot. Strategy is so wonderful because it gives you confidence, it gives you relief, it gives you it makes business not feel like it's a daunting, business shouldn't feel daunting. It should feel fun. And when you have a strategy, you know what you should be doing in order to make your business fun. I don't sit and I don't think oh, what am I going to post today? Oh my gosh. Of course we all have creative blocks every once in a while, but I don't sit there because I know, okay, I'm launching in 6 weeks. What do I need to do before doing that? And bing, bang, boom, I can come up with a full 6-week content calendar because I know what I need to do in order to get there and what I'm doing, what I'm going to be talking about, why I'm doing it, and how I'm going to execute those things. It becomes second nature the more that you do it. I hope that this was helpful because I do think that this is a super kind of quote unquote buzzword right now, especially with all the master resell rights and all of that stuff coming out. There's a lot of things that people say are strategies that aren't exactly strategies to go viral. If that use this audio, that's a strategy to go viral. That's not exactly a strategy. If that thing if it goes out of style in a week or 2 weeks, it's not a proven strategy to last a lifetime. So I want you to be careful when you're learning a strategy because there's a lot of people out there. It's kind of a spooky dooky world sometimes that people might not have the credentials, but they're saying that they know the strategy, or they have just now started to learn these things from a course and they're trying to resell the course when they might know to a surface level extent, but they didn't actually test it, prove it, come up with it, and do it with hundreds of other people in order to actually customize it to your business and give you personalized results. So that is a little input on some of those things there. So I love you. I'm so glad that you're here. If you ever have any questions, come hang out with me on Instagram at thisismadisonpage. You can come hang out with me there. I'm on my stories every day. We're showing some more behind the scenes content. I love when you hop into my DMs and you say how much you're loving the podcast or which episodes you listened to today, so I know which episodes to keep on making similar. There's a lot coming here in 2024. If you are looking at learning a strategy, I have a lot of different offers for people in different stages of your business, but the most prevalent one is my signature program, Product to Profit. This helps get you to consistent sales, and it gives you my step-by-step strategy that I have tested and proven over hundreds of people to get you to those consistent sales. If you execute it consistently and correctly, it does work. And so I am launching that. We start that in the middle of January. If you're really wanting to go all in on learning this strategy at the beginning of your year, so the rest of your year can be strategic, can be aligned, you can be confident, and you can just be doing your dang thing, knowing exactly what to do and how to get the desired results, bringing in those consistent sales. PTP is perfect for you. It's Product to Profit. It's my signature program. You can come on over to Instagram and DM me PTP, and I'll send you some options there and some details on it. Truly the program that I've had dozens of people quit their 9-to-5 inside of the 3 months. I've had dozens of people quit their 9-to-5 outside of the 3 months. And you can really go all in on your business in that program. If you are feeling like you're at a different stage, I have something for everybody. just send me a DM on Instagram at This Is Madison Page. Make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast we put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you haven't explored YouTube yet, why not listen to your next episode on YouTube where we can sit and chat face to face. You can prop your phone up and we can have an actual conversation in that sense. So I love my YouTube fam. I love my podcast fam. It is so much fun to be out here sharing this value for you. So I love you. I'm rooting for you and I'm in your corner always.